All right. You guys ready?
Ready
I'm
as I'll
ready.
ever be.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Drunkscussions Podcast. We are live, episode 33. You guys can find us live on Drunkscussions Twitch channel. Just type in Drunkscussions, you'll find us. So this is our third live episode. Today I am joined with Logan and Paul, as always. With that all being said, let's talk about what we're drinking on tonight. Paul, what are you drinking on, buddy? It looks fancy behind you.
It is something fancy. I have the Heritage Collection 17-year Heaven Hill. It's amazing.
That's
It's fantastic.
it's what, like a $20 bottle?
Yeah, it's a lot. We'll just say that. It's a lot. If you're interested, just look it up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Is it good?
It's the best bourbon I've ever had. Without a doubt.
What you drinking on?
There's nothing comparison to it. No comparison to it.
No comparison. What you drinking on, Logan? Mushroom Man?
So I'm doing Angel's Envy again. I don't know if that was what I did last week, but dude, I'm just loving this stuff. It's not the best that I've ever had, but it's so smooth considering the proof. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the aftertaste is...
Terrible.
No, don't like it.
That's why you
It's
drink.
not for me.
You drink
I'm
more of
enjoying
it. You don't worry about how bad it tastes. I'm drinking two things. I'm drinking Funky Buddha seltzers because I'm still on a seltzer kick. But I also picked up something that we are going to be talking about today. Mitra 9. Look, I love it. It is Kratom. If you guys haven't heard of Kratom, it's it's non-alcoholic. But I'll tell you what, the amount of focus, it does a bunch of things for you. And I'll talk about the effects and all that fun stuff later. But it is delicious. If any sponsors out there do Kratom, we'll do it. I'll do it in
I
a
don't think you
heartbeat.
can you?
No, you
Isn't it
can't.
like in the same regulations as like tobacco? Doesn't the Kratom make you crap them though?
What?
Yeah, doesn't it make you shit? I'm pretty sure it makes you shit.
We'll find out. I don't know. I mean, like, everything makes me shit. You know?
Wait, is that what you spilled over your mouse pad?
No, I spilled Funky Buddha all over my keyboard. So now, and it was like half a beer accidentally spilled into my keyboard. I had to drain it. And yeah, now my keyboard smells like a Funky Buddha, which is not a good sentence to say. But with all that being said, I do believe it is time to roll that intro.
What happened was we got caught up in a drunk discussion, and then he burned the bacon.
Where we talk about everything and know nothing.
You know what I mean? So it kind of seems like a win-win-win.
Here's Gerald.
Here's
Telling everybody I'm dead.
Just draw a dick on it. It's not offensive. It's a dick. Everyone's got a dick nowadays.
Dude, tell me more, because I don't know anything about it.
Oh, a flapper's a 1920s dancer, you motherfucker.
Got a lot of bagels. I like my bagels. Chug 30.
Cheers. Salud. I mean, this shit's free, right? Monday morning. Chime on in. Discussions.
The Eagle has landed.
And we're back. Yeah, so Kratom. I went to a vape shop to go pick up, Kratom. And they had it there. I bought 4 cans of it, and I tried one of them this morning. It's supposed to be... It's unregulated, by the way. So it's unregulated. It's not banned. There might be some bans working out on it, like other countries have. But Kratom it's pretty straightforward. Kratom is a tropical evergreen tree. It's found in Southeast Asia. It's native to Thailand. So it's got a whole bunch of street names for it, which is always cool to have. You know, drugs.
I have to ask, what are the street names? Do you have any of them?
Yeah. So Bik or Bayak, which is the common name in Thailand. There's Tane, Krypton, Kratom, Krakom, Thom, Ketom, and a bunch of other fucking names that Mambog, which I don't know if I drink anything called Mambog. Oh, another subscriber. Welcome. So how is Kratom used? The leaves of Kratom are consumed either by chewing, drying, or smoking, put into capsules, tablets, bulk liquids, or extract. I can just tell you this. I've had one this morning, and it is It's a body buzz, kind of like a cool little body high, but it's not mentally impeding in any way. I did notice a just direct focus. The pain in my body, like usually when I wake up, I'm a little sore from like the workout 2 days prior or whatever, was gone. This stuff is
So it's like
really
smoking
good.
a fat J, but like indica,
So
not sativa.
it actually it activates the same opioid receptors in your brain as like okay, so it interacts with the opioid receptors kind of like other opioids would. So it's like kind of
Oh.
sedation ish.
There's different
So
types too.
can you use this to wean off of opioids then?
They do use it as that. So
Really?
some of the uses for it. Um, let's see, is it illegal? No. There's some states that have some regulations on it. Where I'm at isn't one of them. But yeah, they use it for helping with opioid addiction. It opens up. Let's see. Its primary mitragynine pharmacology block. I can't fucking pronounce medical words. I'm not a
I can't
doctor.
read.
Stimulation at postsynaptic alpha 2 adrenic receptors, so adrenaline type of stuff, I guess. Hydrotropic thymine. I'm gonna fuck up all of these words. It doesn't matter. Anyways, it lasts about an hour. So it's almost like a cup of coffee. A lot of energy. It'd probably be a great pre-workout even.
Really?
It's
I
banned
feel
or not banned, but illegal in 6 states.
really. See, I feel like they
Alabama,
always ban
Arkansas,
shit that is
Indiana.
like able to help people. Why is that? It's like, oh, this can actually have some medicinal purposes to help people. Let's ban it.
Well, it's classified as a
mean-
kappa opioid receptor and is roughly 13 times more potent than morphine. Potent than morphine. Yeah.
Sad the dyslexic kid has to help you.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, Mr. L is in chat saying hello.
Hi, Mr. L.
Mr.
I already,
L.
it's my sister's dad. I was like, hey, hello.
Stimulant effects manifest as increased alertness, boosted physical energy, talkativeness, and more social behavior. So, for all of the people that are introverts, it may be good for them. Could be a good little pick me up before you go to the bar. I don't know if you're supposed to drink and have this in your system at the same time. I don't know if there's studies, but we're gonna
So
find
your
out.
drink is not alcoholic,
Yes, it's non-alcoholic or
and you're
non-alcoholic.
mixing them.
Well, I
So
suppose
Connery might black out on camera tonight, is what I'm hearing.
No, that won't happen. That won't happen. The DEA states the drug abuse surveys have not monitored kratom use or abuse in the U.S., so its true demographic extent of use, abuse, addiction, or toxicity is not known. However, as reported by the DEA in 2016, there were 660 calls to U.S. poison centers related to kratom exposure.
So you can like poison yourself or OD on it, or no?
Yes.
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 So, is kratom deadly? In November 2017 and February 2018, the FDA issued a public health advisory about deadly risks associated with kratom. There have been at least 44 reports of kratom-related deaths, sometimes used in combination with other illicit drugs, prescription drugs, or over-the-counter agents. Let's see. There was 44 reported deaths. However, it looks like it had no historical or toxicologic. I can't. Am I stroking out?
Toxicology?
Maybe I shouldn't drink this.
Yeah, set it aside. You're done. You're cut off.
But they were mixing shit, is what it looks like. They're making like designer drugs out of it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's like it can cause loss of appetite, psychosis, weight loss, hallucination, hypothyroidism, insomnia, liver damage.
This is more and more not sounding like a good idea, guys.
Go away.
Are you?
Just,
is there a
just
ghost in
some
your
No,
room?
I'm
maybe some
kidding.
heart attacks or you know. Who was that? Was that George again? You've been talking about him all
Georgie.
week. Since Tuesday. That's when you got the kratom, right?
Yeah, it looks like.
So-
no, I bought them yesterday.
You said you went into a vape shop, and I've definitely
bought
now that you've
George?
talked about it, I've seen it in vape stores, like it's like a powdery substance in crates, and they like sell it. And I've noticed that there has been some kratom cafes popping up. So I mean, obviously there's a want and a need for it, but I guess there should probably be some regulation on it if people are dying from it.
Well, it says not for use by persons under the age of 18 or pregnant or breastfeeding women. Sorry, honey. Do not combine with alcohol.
No, you did not
Oh,
let her drink that.
no, I didn't. I would never.
Okay.
I don't. She's allowed to have unseasoned chicken and rice.
Didn't she have a glass of wine though not that long ago?
She's had one glass of wine since she's been pregnant. She drinks the FYE. It's a non-alcoholic wine. That's pretty garbage. But
It tastes like shit.
makes her feel like she belongs, so that's why we get it. Apparently, you should not drink with it. So
Did you already kill the can?
I've already killed 3 beers, and I'm halfway done with this can. And yeah,
Don't finish the can.
yeah.
Don't finish the can. No,
I'm not gonna
no.
finish the can.
Yeah,
So anyways, about that sponsorship.
Yeah, let's cancel that.
No, this stuff is really good.
What's it taste like?
So this is sparkling dragon fruit. It's got 0 calories. I can see
You like
how.
dragon fruit?
Um. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right.
It's not bad. They're
all right.
they'll stain your face. I'll tell you that. That stuff is
How-
very red.
How many calls went to the poison control center again? How many was it? 600?
It was 600. Apparently, though, there was in 2019 a case study done on 404 cases of liver damage associated with it. But out of 8 of the cases, which occurred between 2007 and 2017, only 8 out of 404 were realistically related to that. 5 patients had jaundice, yellowing of the skin. 6 had itching. 5 had abdominal pain, and 3 had a fever. 6 patients were hospitalized.
Did you read
mean-
the comment? What about the pros and cons of medical meth?
It might be a serious comment, but I'm just gonna say 600 calls, 400 cases. How does that stand up to 99,000 alcohol-related deaths annually?
It doesn't.
True.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's and I get why we should regulate these things, and I do think that safety is a big concern, but also grown people are gonna make mistakes, and
Freedom.
I don't know. I mean, there's certainly some things, but if you look at countries, you know what? I'm gonna go off on a tangent. I'm done. So Kratom.
Let's do
I mean, I thought you were gonna go like with weed, where no one's died from that, and we regulate the shit out of that, or it's a Scheduled 1 drug. But it is what it is.
No, I mean, I don't know. Making things illegal doesn't ever seem to help for the most
You're not
part.
wrong.
I think regulation is the way to go.
Or taxation.
And
Psych.
it is illegal in 6 states already, so you have to take that into account. But
Alabama,
Either way.
Arkansas, Indiana, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin.
That's really
Yeah, Wisconsin, out of all
yeah.
places.
That threw me for a loop. It's
If
like
there's
super
one
south and
place-
boom.
If there's one place I'm going to be doped up on Kratom, it's Wisconsin.
Wisconsin because it's cold, or
Cheese. I'm lactose intolerant. I do notice a suppression of hunger. So that's definitely one of the side effects, because when I had one this morning, I wasn't hungry, and I wasn't hungry
Really?
for like 5 hours, where normally I have to eat every 2 hours. So I could see the weight
So-
loss effects of this.
and do you feel
Also-
like energetic at all when you drink it?
Like right now, I could probably go run a good 5 miles, no problem.
So you're drinking liquid cocaine. Cool.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
fucking great right now. So good.
it's also isn't that also a side effect of caffeine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So I mean, but I like the idea of causing some suppression of hunger, because man, I need that. I'm craving right now as a Taco 12 pack.
I do remember though, in college, I was taking Ritalin, which is a lesser form of Adderall, and it does kind of have that hyper focused effect to it. I feel very wide-eyed and bushy-tailed right now. Like I could do stuff right now. I'm very talkative. I feel phenomenal.
Ready to discuss some drunk discussions, huh?
Yeah. With all that being said, let's definitely we didn't say take a drink, so everyone take a drink, and thank you for all of our listeners and viewers. But yeah, that was Kratom. So it's cool shit. A lot of people are picking up sponsors from it, and like Logan said, there is like Kratom cafes popping up where they are doing like
Paul.
yeah. Oh, you said that, Paul?
Yeah, I did. It's okay. It's fine. Don't hurt my feelings.
No, Logan's just relevant. And then yeah, on today's episode of Florida Man,
Florida man.
it's kind of on par though with like the same people that are doing kratom is the same people that are like at hookah bars or kombucha freaks, you know, that eat and drink the fermented
Makes
juice or whatever.
sense why vape stores are selling it.
It does. It was right next to the pipes.
And then, I mean, vape stores, I feel like they get away with a lot. Like, they'll have, knockoff THC bags, and they'll have, knockoff, tobacco. Why not Kratom? I mean, they feel like they have some type of a loophole, where the way they do it, there is a loophole in their packaging. So,
It
makes sense.
definitely does. So I think if you have smoked weed or you're familiar with modern day weed, as far as like CBD or Delta 8, 9, and 10, right? 10 being a like hybrid. They sell that at the vape shops. You don't need a license because it's technically falls under the federal regulation of the amount of THC inside of a product. So they can legally sell true THC like edibles and stuff like
Yeah.
that there. It just has to be under a certain amount, which is cool to
Crazy
see.
to me.
I'm excited to see where that type of stuff goes. I think it has a lot of medical benefits to it. Helps with anxiety, depression, getting over opioids. A lot of people that were say crackheads, meth heads, they started smoking weed and they left all that out. Alcoholics use it for recovery. I mean, there's it. I feel like weed is one of those things that shouldn't be as heavily regulated as it is. Or
And I feel like that's why it's such a hot topic, and that's why this kratom very well might follow suit. Our government likes to say no to a lot of things, and especially when the people themselves start to like it, or they seem to say that it has an addictive personality or quality to it, even though it might not. Then they're like, "Oh, we have to jump on this before it gets out of hand."
I'm not
So,
gonna
I mean-
say it's definitely kratom is addictive, but I can see the addictive qualities. How I feel right now, it's very sharpened, euphoric. I feel phenomenal. Like it's like the first time you have your first cup of coffee at the age of 9. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I remember my first cup of coffee. It was all right. I was like, "This just tastes like warm bean juice." I got really energetic, and then I had to shit about 10 minutes later. So
It's a beast.
that continues. I still drink a cup of coffee every day, and I still feel that same way.
I was just gonna say, Connery, do you drink a cup of coffee every day?
I actually I had my first cup of coffee today, in about 2 weeks. So I've been dying off of the caffeine side of things because with going to the gym every day, I've wanted to find. I feel like I've had this giant fall off from even wanting to go to the gym because I had that need of the only way I'd get off my ass is to take a bunch of pre-workout. And now I've been finding enjoyment just not having anything in my system other than a bunch of water. And, now I'm
Well, you're
looking at
better than me.
alternative.
You're better than me, that's for sure.
Dude, I'm 2 years
I
into
mean-
this. I love it.
I have like probably 140 milligrams of caffeine a day, which is
Easily.
like 90 milligrams of caffeine. I think is like the average cup of coffee, like just like plain
Yeah.
black coffee.
I-
I have about 140 milligrams a day.
Don't they say you
It's-
shouldn't really go over 300 milligrams of caffeine a day? And most people are doing like 1,200.
Well, to be fair, a lot of
be
our
fair.
fellow gym heads out there, pre-workout has a lot of caffeine in it. And you're taking scoops on scoops and then crushing a bang with it, and you feel your heart beating out of your chest. Yeah, I think you're over your limit.
Yeah, caffeine is like anything that affects the way you see the world or the way you perceive things is a drug.
Yeah.
And caffeine is one of those.
Those sugar,
It's
right?
technically a performance-enhancing drug if you think about it. But neither here nor there. I mean, caffeine is thereby probably one of the most commonly abused substances in the world, right behind sugar.
Yeah. I can see that. When I worked at Starbucks, we would do the 10 shot on ice. So we would have 10 shots of espresso on
you
ice.
sick bastard.
Dude, we drink that with a little bit of sweetener and a little bit of cream. We would drink that on ice throughout the day, and there was times I did 2 of those in a day, and I can just the heartburn I remember was excruciating, but I don't recommend
It's
that.
funny because my sister is like the general manager of a Starbucks, and she can tell you like every freaking mixture under the sun, and she's probably listening to you right now, going like, "Oh yeah, I drink that every day."
Yeah, if she's listening right now, is she listening right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
H. Lobs,
oh, what's up?
12 blonde espresso shots.
Yeah, no, that's I hated blonde, but blonde coffee actually has more caffeine than dark roast because the
Put me in
longer
the
you roast it,
hospital.
yeah, the longer you roast it, the caffeine content goes down.
You
From what I
get more
remember.
flavor out of it with a darker. I like dark
I
coffee.
agree.
Darker the better.
Yeah, once you go black coffee, you don't really go back. What was I saying? Man, I am hopped
The
up on Mountain
blonde.
Dew.
Yeah, not Mountain Dew on Kratom.
When I worked at Starbucks, I worked there for it was actually one of my favorite jobs I've ever worked is working at Starbucks. If I could survive and make a good living from working at Starbucks, I would go back in a heartbeat. I loved it.
I mean, you just have to be the general manager. I mean, she
Yeah.
raises a whole family and has a house. She makes a killing. I'm proud of her.
Or go
Don't
to
make me re-say that, Hannah.
Europe
Go to Europe. Yeah, tell
or
me
go
about it.
go corporate.
What do you mean? You can just work in a coffee shop and then run for Congress. That's America, bro.
You can do marketing. I'm sure marketing is easy there, and everybody already knows who Starbucks is.
Yeah, it was chaotic in the chat. He was like, "My wife worked at Starbucks for years. The amount of coffee or caffeine she downed in a day is insane. It is definitely not healthy. That's probably why I enjoyed it so much. And then you're addicted to go to work
Yep.
because you're addicted to the caffeine.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. We made up a
No,
whole.
they get you because when you don't drink a cup of coffee, you're crying and peeling your eyes out, and your skin is burning, and you want
Having
to
a mental
die.
breakdown.
How they get you is saying, "Hey, we have a pretty laxed work environment, but in order to train you, you have to know what everything tastes like." So the first day you go in there, you sit down with the GM, and we did it. We had coffee samplings of every single bean and every single tea, and I just remember thinking to myself, "I am hopped up. I'm sweating through my shirt because I'm just juiced on caffeine." And she was like, "Well, this is every day. You get free food. You get a free bag of coffee every week." It was great. People were buying like I don't think you're allowed to say that out loud, but yeah, I would sell it for like $5 under what you could buy a bag of beans for, and just sell it to family and friends. And then
You don't work there anymore. Fuck it.
yeah, true. Fuck them. And fuck Starbucks for not allowing them to unionize. You guys see all that shit?
Wow.
Yeah, where the whole team walked out.
Yeah, I was working on my coffee mastery to get the black apron when I was in it. I was even gonna go to college off of Starbucks dime back in the day, and then I found the car
So
business.
Is it frowned upon to make coffee whilst wearing a black apron if you haven't achieved the status of coffee master?
So the black
Just
apron,
saw that.
the black apron is for people that actually you have to travel and they train you, and you have to basically you blind taste test. You know everything that goes into the manufacturing, the different plants around the world, all the different layers of coffee and all that shit. And then
They send you to Colombia? That'd be pretty lit.
yeah, you go into the Colombian mine with all the kids, and you pick beans till your fingers bleed. And
Jesus Christ. No, but for real, if I come over and someone who worked at Starbucks, like they're a guest in my home, and I make them a cup of coffee while wearing a black apron, is that like disrespectful to their culture? Over there
Unless
at
you know
Starbucks?
your shit.
Or-
What happens if you just whip out like all this knowledge and they're like, you know what? You deserve that black apron, sir.
I whip it out and I'm like, all right, I've got great value Colombian roast.
great value Colombian roast.
This espresso machine from Walmart.
I remember back in the day when I lived in Ohio, the Amish had a bet dent, and you could go in
Oh
there.
my god.
You could buy bags of coffee beans that were like a day or two expired, and they're still fresh. You could buy the 5-pound bags of it. Maybe it was heavier than that. I don't know.
Don't lie to yourself. That shit was like 2 months expired. I've been there with you.
Who cares? It's coffee beans, man, and you buy a
It wa-
lot
that
of
was-
it for like
Logan,
$2.
That wasn't even the worst thing. They had like bags of chips that were months expired and shit. And like, yeah, it was cheap. Like you're buying like a bag of chips for like 75 cents and it's
Not
a big
even.
bag of party chips.
Not
Not
even.
even. But like, oh god.
So here's the thing though, coffee doesn't really go bad.
It does.
Like it doesn't grow mold though.
No, I
Like
mean
it
if it's
doesn't
stored
it
right.
doesn't it doesn't rot, it doesn't grow mold. Like it won't make you sick. it might not taste that great. So like, dude, here's the thing about it, right? So even if you buy them and you don't want to drink the coffee that you make with the beans, bro, drop them in some chocolate and make some chocolate covered coffee beans. You get the caffeine, they taste good, you're good to go.
I do love chocolate covered beans. Chocolate covered peanuts. You dip anything in chocolate, I'll put it in my mouth.
Bro, stop.
Stop.
Because you're giving me ideas over here. Don't tempt me with a good time. But anyways,
So, have you guys? We're talking coffee, and I saw this actually the other day. Have you guys ever seen that coffee that's like Kopai or whatever, where it's like it's like an Asian country?
Yeah, it's got that little
and
fish on it.
I think so.
Mhm.
But it's like digested coffee beans and cherries that are eaten by like this animal, the palm
The monkey.
cavid or whatever. Not a monkey. It's almost
oh
like
yeah,
a
and then they poop
mar-
it.
Yeah, and they poop it, and then
They
they
poop
collect
it.
it, and you're eating shit beans, or you're drinking shit beans.
Yeah,
Like,
Mm,
I couldn't.
What do they
If
call
someone,
it? Is it like the Italian word for shit beans, and we're just like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Oh.
oui.
What is it called though? What's
The
the coffee called? It's got a
Kopi
name.
Lukwa.
You look it up,
Lukwa.
Paul. and
I
then-
am. I'm looking at
Logan.
Kopi
Yeah.
Lukwa. Lukwa. It's weird. It's
Lukewarm.
weird, bro.
Got it.
Lukewarm.
Blue Gua stands for booty hole coffee. Speaking of booty hole, did you guys see the giant fucking sinkhole that just opened up?
Where?
So an enormous sinkhole the size that could swallow the fucking White House opened up in Chile. It's a spicy
What?
hole. Yeah.
Deep. It's a spicy hole.
It's a spicy hole. So and I'm reading off of the article here, but it starts the gaping. 104-foot wide sinkhole appeared Saturday, July 30th. So I guess it was a little longer ago. In a rural area outside of the town of Tierra Amarilla, about 500 miles north of the capital city, Santiago. In comparison, the White House measures about 85 feet or 26 meters wide. The hole appears to be about 656 feet deep, with a reservoir of water sloshing around at the bottom. The hole opened up on the
What?
site of the Alcaparrosa copper mine. I think the way I said that, it sounded right.
What helps you sleep at night, Connery?
Yeah. So apparently there's copper mining. The Canadian company that owns the mine in Chile says no injuries or damage has been reported other than a big ass fucking hole. But yes, and if you don't know what a sinkhole is, it's basically you have a pocket of air and or water underneath the ground, and the water starts eroding away. The hole gets bigger and bigger until it can't support
Earth
the
above it.
surface, and it collapses in on itself. The sinkholes are super prevalent in Florida, even since we don't have
All over the world. It happened in Kentucky in the Corvette Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I remember
We
that. That
talked
was
about that.
huge. Wait, so this sinkhole, is it all water at the bottom? Like, is it just water?
I don't know. All I see is a giant black hole on Earth. Like,
Gotcha.
there's no
I
really
wonder
good
if-
photos.
Wonder if anyone has like rappelled down that. I'd do that.
It's probably
would
not
say screw it.
sturdy or safe right now.
But
'cause
here's the thing: you extend out a crane and then you go straight down the middle, as opposed to going off of the side, because obviously the thought of the Earth collapsing in from the outer ring. But if it's how wide did you say it was, Connery?
656. Oh no, that's depth. 104 foot wide.
Yeah, so you can extend out a crane and go down the middle relatively safely, as long as you don't get too close to the bottom, I would think, because it's probably not a lot of rocks since it's corroding. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, other than the fact, and if you haven't seen the photo of this hole, it is fucking perfect. It is a circle. It's not rough edges. It is it's a circle.
Does
It
it-
looks like a
Does it
blackhead.
have like length or width or anything? Like, is it like
104
200 feet? Oh, it's
104
104
foot wide, and then 656 feet deep. 200
So
meters.
Where
it's
is it?
well over an acre
Yeah,
of
Where is
a
it?
hole.
Chile.
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 I love you, Chile.
Atacama Desert? Is that the one you're looking at?
Uh,
Atacama Desert?
No,
No.
they must
Maybe.
have a lot of holes.
82 feet in diameter, 650 feet in depth.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another big one. I mean, it sounds like Chile is a hotspot. I mean, it's right there on, you know,
Are
what
you
is it? A
saying
volcanic line.
Are you saying the CERN Geomin or whatever it was that Logan?
St. Jeremy.
No, this is
Jeremy.
we're looking at the same one.
Oh, okay.
It looks like we just got a hold of it a little bit late. Like this happened back in early August, like the 9th of August, I think.
Sinkholes are kind of they've always been happening, right? Or is it's definitely become more popular as mining and wells running dry and things like that. I would imagine they're becoming more and more prevalent, right?
Yeah.
Here's my
No,
thing,
it
though.
just looks like the U.S. news didn't catch on until recently.
There's other things going
Like
on.
we
there.
were sinkholes are prevalent, but like as a kid, we never really like I felt like talked about sinkholes really. Like everything that always scared me that isn't prevalent at all in today's life is like
Quicksand.
quicksand. Yeah. Why the fuck did they tell us about that shit? It's like, oh, it's terrifying, it's traumatizing, you could die, and it's like, when the fuck am I gonna encounter this?
What's even better yet is I learned they taught you how to survive if you fall into a quicksand.
Yeah,
I learned
lay on your
I learned
back.
I learned how to get out of quicksand before I learned how to write a check.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Sorry, we don't use checks anymore, doesn't
Yeah, what's a check?
No, there are people who don't know. That's a real thing. People don't know what a checkbook is. I want you to think about that for a second. There are people that exist on this earth who are adults who do not know what a checkbook is.
Yeah, but then there's also this that happened today. We're cleaning out the garage, right? All my
Oh,
dad's
no.
shit, and I found a bunch of VHS tapes. Going through them, you know, seeing which ones to keep, like my dad's wedding and all this stuff. My neighbor comes over, and she's younger, and she's like, "What's a VHS?" And I literally wanted to just open hand slap the shit out of her.
Wait,
I had to hold back.
Tina?
Yeah, didn't know what a VHS was.
That's crazy.
It blows my mind.
Believable, because she's how old?
I mean, she's in high school now, so I mean, she was
Right.
well after 2000 when she was born.
I'm kind of on the same foot as this one TikTok I saw where this kid's like, all millennials do is bitch about shit that we don't know about. Like, it's not my fault you're a grandpa. And I'm like, God damn. You guys are, they're rough.
You were born in the 1900s? 19?
You're born in the
Start with
1900s?
19?
Your birthday starts with a 19?
It's funny. You go to grab
No.
beer now and they just see 19. They're like, I don't need to see anymore. I was like, wait.
I know. Doesn't that
Wait,
upset
what?
you? Well, think
That's
about
real?
it. It's 2022, my guy.
Yeah.
So you look at an ID, if it's in a 19, you're legal.
Dude, I
2001.
still get ID'd even though I go to the same place.
You do
to buy
look
alcohol.
12 though, so that's fair.
That's
really.
fair. Okay.
Not
I mean,
really.
I have a beard, but yeah.
Here's the thing though, Logan. You hate on that now, but as you get older, you're gonna mature and age better than me and Connery. I got mistaken for 40 yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, that fucking hurt me. I was like,
Yeah,
and now I'm
you don't
gonna
look-
shave my beard.
you don't look 40.
No, I don't. I don't look. It was an insult. I was
don't.
like, you
well,
bitch.
how old was the person though?
In their 40s.
Oh,
They said, "Oh, like
Like-
our age," and I was like, "Excuse
like-
me, bitch."
Excuse me?
when you say 40s, like
Early 40s.
like
early.
a good 40 or like a
Yeah,
you
like she
had a
looked
ni-
good
you
for
had a fun-
42. She
you
looked
had a
like shit for
fun-
22.
I was gonna say you had a fun childhood 40, or like you know,
Smoke 6 packs of cigarettes a day,
did-
40.
Yeah,
Oh, those are two different things.
Yes.
No,
but
she
either way,
she looked good for like 42 or 43. Looked like shit for 22, but you know, it is what it is.
speaking of things that we were taught as children,
Mm-hmm.
there's all these movies about disasters and shit.
Right.
And if you thought something was going to happen in California, like a disaster, what would you think was going to happen?
San Andreas fault.
Yeah, it just
Like
snaps
fucking
off the rest of the
separation.
country.
They can just
Yeah.
take California. It just floats out into the water. It's fine.
So here's the thing about that. All right. So I was looking for stuff to talk about today with you guys, and I had something come up. And it was this article about a mega flood coming to California. And I was like, hang on. It's supposed to be an earthquake, or the entire state is supposed to go into the ocean. You're fucking this up for me. My childhood is ruined. But apparently, they're saying that it won't be a drought, it won't be an earthquake, it'll be a flood.
How funny and ironic would that be? It's like, we don't have enough water. What are we going to do? Oh, we're going to die from water. Here you go. Just take it.
Do you think it's going to be a flood that happens from the ocean or a inland flood that slopes into California? I mean,
So they're talking about essentially like the 1,000-year flash flood events that happened over the summer in St. Louis and Kentucky.
Yeah.
It'll be the entire state of California just like that. It'll be just flash flooding.
When was the last time they had a torrential downpour like that, though? Like, it's a
I don't
desert
know.
for the most part.
I don't know.
So,
But they're saying that the lowlands would turn into basically an inland sea. And they're expecting it to happen like every 25 to 50 years
they
going
just
forward.
turn it into a tourist trap. It's fine.
Oh,
I mean, it's so essentially atmospheric rivers that are naturally occurring are just going to flood. And all of the runoff from the mountains is going to cause massive floods.
So, one, I have two questions. One, where did you find this article? And two, did Al Gore write it?
So it's funny that you say this because this is from CNN.
Of course.
But
oh,
yeah,
so it's a legitimate article. Is what you're saying.
They have the facts to back it.
They say experts, so they have to know what they're talking about. Yeah, but anyways, I mean, what they're talking about is Los Angeles, Orange County, and they're expecting this mega flood to be 5 times the cost of Hurricane Katrina, which is currently the
What?
costliest disaster in the U.S. history.
That hurricane right there made a lot of insurance companies go under. A lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, though. You know that as far as property and casualty are concerned, and this may apply to accident, life, and health as well, if it's considered to be a catastrophe, it's supposed to be taken on by the federal government as opposed to private insurance companies. So if you have like a flood or a hurricane or a tornado, those are considered catastrophes.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Right.
think that that may not be considered a catastrophe until the point where I think it's about how many people are affected.
It's also like Cat
Um,
5 hurricanes. A Category 5 hurricane would be a federal level assistance.
yeah.
Like Hurricane Michael, there were similar circumstances on Mexico Beach in Panama City when Hurricane Michael hit. It was a terrifying storm to be
So
in.
are they going to name this torrential downpour?
No,
Like,
I mean,
Flood
and
Jasmine flooded
here's
all
the
of
thing.
California.
They're saying basically that they know it's happened before and it's going to happen again. And there's been, over the last 150 years, a series of just atmospheric rivers drenching the Golden State. And that has caused some of the most exceptional floods in history.
I got the name, the Golden Shower.
So, like, San Joaquin and Sacramento valleys, like those two
Yeah.
valleys, it's going to basically be
Filling
temporary, but a sea. Like, it will be the ocean, basically, at that point.
So they have to deal with massive wildfires, a massive flood eventually, and
drought normally.
drought, and the possibility of the San Andreas just breaking them off from the rest of the world.
That and excessive amounts of human feces on the street. I just don't want to go to California at this point.
Well, you guys know that this wouldn't be the first time they had massive flooding like that in California.
When
Oh
was-
yeah, I mean,
When was
I
the
can
last
believe
time?
that.
Do you have that pulled up?
1861 to 62.
Oh,
It was
good-
30
good.
feet of water for weeks.
Oh yeah, the gold rush.
30 feet?
30
Wow.
feet. And it didn't have anything to do with infrastructure. It had everything to do with just torrential downpours and all of the rivers. Like, if you look at a map of California, they have a lot of water sources flowing north to south.
Right.
I don't know if that's just the
They
nature
could-
of the landscape or.
I'm not saying it on like a disaster level, but they could definitely use some rain. I mean, you guys have started seeing all of the rivers and lakes that have just basically dried out, right?
Well, look at
Yeah.
Lake Mead.
Yeah,
Lake
Lake Mead's
Mead in
basically
the
gone.
is yeah, that's ridiculous how low that is. So I mean, just take the water from that and fill that bitch up.
I mean, think about all the mountains that they have too there. Like, it wouldn't even have to be rain. It could literally just be a shit ton of snow, and then summer comes around, and then you have 15 feet of snow.
Y'all are making me super excited for my California work trip in November. I hope so. And you know what? I hope it rains.
Go to Lake Tahoe, buddy.
I hope you have a great trip, bud.
Go see the redwoods in Northern California. Do some hiking while you're out there, if you can. Get outside,
While you still can.
because I know it's huge. I don't know where you're going, but you could probably drive a few hours, even though you don't want to, and see something that you'd never be able to see again.
You could start the YouTube business and TikTok business where you go up to homeless people and just record them without their permission and give them $5 to make them feel good, and then start
True.
making money off of that. That's a business
Hell yeah.
idea.
Or record your hike. That's
Very
another
original,
option, but-
Colony or Connery. I like it. Very original.
It's all over my TikTok. I don't know why. It's just
You're in the algorithm. You liked one of them, and now you're fucked.
well, there is this one guy who like crowdfunded for this real old sweetheart to get an apartment, and I was like, "Oh, that's sweet," and I liked it. And then there was another one where this guy goes down to Mexico and save dog food dogs, dogs that are going to
Yeah.
be turned into food, and rescues them. That feel good stuff,
But now you're just getting jackasses.
Oh yeah, all over the place. Just they go up, they're like, "Is there anything I can get for you today?" And he's like, "I'll take some food." And he's like, "All I've got is this GoPro," and yeah, that type of shit.
Go
Did you,
take that and pawn it for maybe some crack.
did you guys hear about Kim?
Kim, Kim who? Kim Jong Un, Kim Jong Il, Kim Jong Sung. What?
Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian. What? Kim who?
Kim Nokos.
Who the fuck is that?
She's a time traveler from the year 2090.
Shut up. Do we have another one?
Yeah.
I love this shit. Hold on. I need more info.
The reason why I brought Kim up is because Logan was talking about the natural disasters, crazy disasters, stuff like that. She is predicting something, or not predicting, she's saying this is going to happen. Now, she said this August 11th, so what, just a few days ago. She says, "Warning everyone, I'm a time traveler from the year 2090. On August 14th, 2022, the worst hurricane in history hit South Carolina. This will be the first ever Category 6 hurricanes with wind speeds over 250 miles an hour, known as the first one. It causes billions in damage and many people will lose their lives. Be safe, everyone." And it is August 12th as we're recording. So
Wait, it's supposed to happen on August 12th?
no, it's supposed to happen on the 14th. However, I'm all over NOAA. No, that sounded dirty. NOAA, the
Giggity.
National Oceanic Atmosphere.
Is there
thing.
anything showing anything?
No. There's something
so
in the
she's
Gulf
full of
right now,
shit.
but it's not going anywhere.
Oh, so she's full of shit.
Imagine though if she got it right.
We'd have a real Nostradamus effect going on here, like
If she was right though, do you think people would start worshiping
believing her
or trying to kill
I
her?
wouldn't say
or-
worship, but I feel like there would be a lot more questions asked, and it would be more like, okay, you have to predict another thing for us to really believe it.
What's the
And
Mega
if she did it
Millions?
Well, she missed out because the fucking one. Did you see that the guy won? It was like $1.4 billion, and then the IRS took out majority of it. He walked away with like 400,000 or 400 million.
Oh, poor thing.
Poor thing, I know, but still, like that's a lot of money to take away from a lottery win. And honestly, on the topic of the IRS, did you guys see that they're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents?
Is there a reason?
I was trying to dig into it, and I mean, the biggest thing is cracking down on like tax fraud and people using like the wrong tax exemptions and stuff. So pretty much the government trying to screw and really squeeze the middle class, as usual. But they are. And the worst part, this is what pisses me off more. They're not just hiring 87,000 of them; they're arming them too. So now the IRS has an army theoretically of 87,000 agents that are armed. Like, it's just some things just not adding up here.
That does not make sense at all. So they're going to give 87,000 people guns and say, "Hey,
I don't know exactly how many are gonna get it, but they said armed, and when you see armed, that means like weapon. So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if that's 100% true or not. I've seen some places that are saying that it is true. Some people saying it's false. So I mean, it just really depends. The main reason is why is the IRS hiring or increasing their budget in general?
Here's the thing, right? So one thing that you have to understand too, though, is that one of the reasons supposedly that they're hiring it is because their audits have decreased,
Right.
and it's mostly on those who have have an annual income of over $1 million. that are getting through at these tax loopholes.
Right.
And because their audits have decreased by 44%, essentially what that means is they're catching less people. So when you do something wrong, they audit you. So audit means I did something wrong. It could be an innocent mistake, like I accidentally filed my taxes wrong. I didn't include this document or that document or this asset or that asset. Or it could be something like I purposefully misrepresented my holdings and my withholdings, and that is in an effort to keep more of my money in taxes. And they're saying that the group that they're targeting is those who make an annual income of higher than $1 million. So
They say.
when you say they're squeezing the middle class, part of me wonders is if all of the education that has been shared through, we've talked about the internet and social media before, all of the information that has been shared by those who are in the upper class about how to quote unquote game the system, that they're providing this information to the middle class. I think that's why they're now choking down, is because people who do have that kind of money are saying, here's how to do it. And they're like, the IRS is scrambling, like, we're not getting any audits. Clearly that they've found a way to game the system. We need to crack down.
Right. Which, I mean, that makes sense, but are they going to really use that like they say? I mean, it's still just another government organization. But I guess I'm reading some more things, so here's some more onto it, too. So it's pretty much a bill that's being passed, and it's going to be tens of billions of dollars. The bill would be going towards hiring 87,000 new Internal Revenue Service members or agents. And Vice President Kamala Harris is casting the tie-breaking vote and heads to the House this week for it.
You know what
so,
it
I mean,
is?
she's going to pass it.
I know what it is. It's it's related to the Inflation Reduction Act that just
Mhm.
passed the House Sunday.
Mhm.
Or no, it just passed. It's passed the Senate. It's already passed the House. It's going to the president. But anyways,
House then Senate, but yeah, you're right.
yeah. Total revenue raised of $737 billion, and part of it is IRS tax enforcement. But the Inflation Reduction Act, there's like 8 points here that it's making. One of them is to protect families and small businesses making less than $400,000 a year, closes tax loopholes used by the wealthy, a 15% corporate tax minimum, a 1% fee on stock buybacks, and enhanced IRS enforcement. Which I could definitely see some taxation with that representation coming through
Mm-hmm.
in a few of these. But
I mean, in my mind, taxation in general is theft, but I
But
get that people are like, oh,
you
it's your percentage to live here in this country.
you
We
have
pay
to
enough,
understand
motherfuckers.
that 87,000 is not, they're not hiring 87,000 armed guards to go to people's houses and
Oh
take
yeah,
your
no,
grandma's house
I
from them.
know,
They're
but it's
hiring
still
auditors, customer service, IT workers,
right.
Treasury Department representatives. Like, it's not
They're
an
just
army of tax people that are going to come to your door and be like, you did not pay the queen your 30%. We will now take your home and all of your provisions.
uh,
I'm taking the dog, dumbass.
there's a lot of things that this is doing: lowering energy bills, making historic climate investments, lower healthcare costs. And this one didn't make sense to me. The first point is it expands Medicare benefits, free vaccines in 2023, $35 a month insulin, and cap out of pocket drug costs to an estimated $4,000 or less in 2024. Wasn't there something about the Republican Party completely shutting down the lowered cost and cap cost of insulin? So I wonder if that's how they got it back into it, is by putting it into this, saying, "Hey, well,
Possible. It's always a tit for tat thing with our fucking government. But I do have to say, the memes that are coming from this, legendary, epic. Like my favorite one, where it's like I forgot to pay to tip the waiter, and it like has a bunch of IRS agents. It's like, come at me, Fed boy. Like it's
I mean,
the memes are too much.
I understand why you would feel the way you do about this whole situation, Paul, but also, like, people who are low income and don't have assets, their tax returns are basically automated.
Right.
Like, there are no loopholes for them because there's nothing for them to leave out.
when did you
I
guys
mean,
first start doing your taxes by yourself?"
16.
18.
I was like 21.
21.
Yeah,
As soon
my
as I
mom always helped.
as soon as I started making money over the table. But I mean, it was also one of those things where
Wait, you guys make you guys get W-2s?
Yeah. I got a W-2 and it was just like plug and play basically at that time. TurboTax was a thing.
TurboTax is supposed to be giving a lot of money back to people. And I say a lot because of a class action lawsuit, but it's not really that much. I think it's like a 80 something bucks to everyone that's used TurboTax in the past 5 years.
I've used it every year for the past like 5 years.
Paul, you're 27.
It's okay. Well, before that I did H&R Block, but whatever.
Ooh. Yeah, I've used TurboTax since I was 18 basically.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I did H&R Block for a while because I'd just go in there and they'd do it for me. But the thing is that people don't realize is usually when you go in there, it'll constantly ask you to use this updated system to get more money back, but it charges you. The intellect that I am, always go for the free option. Okay, it takes me a little longer, whatever, or I can file an extension and take a little time. But I'm never gonna pay TurboTax to do my taxes. Like they can fuck off.
Oh, by the way, I
Man.
like to put this out here. None of us are tax experts. Don't ever take any financial advice from any of us three. Even if we were professionals, I wouldn't recommend it anyways. We're inebriated.
No, yeah, agreed.
So put that out there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
true.
Logan.
But, no, I mean, but yeah, that's my thing is like what loophole does someone that's middle class take when they lease their vehicle, their home is mortgaged? Like, what loophole is there for them to take to pay less taxes? You know what I
No
mean?
taxes. That would be the loophole.
I mean,
No taxes.
Well, I wonder how many
Anarchy.
people. I wonder how many people this year aren't going to even pay taxes because of everything that's happened with.
Let me ask you this though. Like, what in reality, like in all reality, it would never happen because no one could get on that grand scale together. But if everyone just stopped paying taxes,
Mhm.
what could they do? If everyone stopped doing it, theoretically, what could
they
they do?
could stop providing you insurance coverage. They could.
But that's a private.
stop-
That's a private company, though.
Yeah, and
You can
your
still-
point.
There's companies that are going to stay open even though if everyone stopped. Guarantee it.
Can they put liens on your home?
I doubt it.
Wait, what's that thing where it's always single dads that always seem to get it, but their paycheck automatically gets reducted or deducted?
Oh, it's
You know-
garnished wage
garnished
garnish.
wages.
Do you
Yeah,
know-
they probably could do that.
But do you know why insurance companies are required to a certain degree?
Lobbyists.
Yeah.
No. Well, yes, but also because
Well, no, but yes.
you have to have, so like if we're talking about cars, right? You have to have at minimum liability insurance so that if you hurt someone else or damage their property, they are covered up to a certain amount, right? You have to carry, each state has a minimum liability that you have to carry.
Right.
And if you don't have liability insurance, you can't register your car. If your car is already registered and you don't have insurance on it, they'll find out that you don't have insurance coverage and they'll do one of a few things. They'll suspend your registration on the vehicle, they'll suspend your driver's license, or they'll cancel your registration, or they'll fine you a massive amount. Okay, let's say there's no government, right? What's the reason to get insurance?
There isn't one. Fuck them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
you
a
don't
risk at
need
that
you
point.
don't need insurance. So if you have something damage your property, you're just fucked.
Or you just do. Yeah, you do it yourself.
Yeah, you're just fucked.
Good old homeowner
No,
working on
you're
his
literally,
house.
you're just fucked. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Do you have $400,000? Because
Oh, I mean that's for like a full loss.
I don't. Yeah, a total loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
I mean, what do
imagine.
you do? Let me ask you this. If you have a total loss on your only means of transportation right now, do you have the means to go out and buy a new vehicle?
Well, I consider myself lucky because I have not just a backup, but a backup.
Right.
Say a tree
Right.
falls on all three. Are you within your
What do
means
you
to
do?
go get another vehicle?
I have a bicycle and I live close enough to ride my bike to work.
Right. But you don't. But let's say that's true for the average person. How does that work out in the infrastructure if everyone's riding bikes because all their cars got totaled and they couldn't get a new car?
That was.
But that wouldn't. Not everyone's car would get totaled though.
It definitely came to mind after. Remember when we were talking about the line? So when we first did our first live episode, it was episode 31.
Yes.
We talked about the line, and then the next episode we were talking about self-driving vehicles, the AI, and all this
Yeah.
other stuff that could play a part into it. Why the fuck are we still building cities and not putting money towards infrastructure that makes it so cars don't need to be a thing?
Tell me about it. I've talked about this many a times. It's because the United States we're built wide, right? We're built long. Our infrastructure is built around automobiles because the automotive industry was booming when it first took off in that sense. The late 1800s, early 1900s, and lobbyists then put a lot of money towards building not just our cities but our roads around vehicles and automobiles. Unlike Europe, where they have trains and buses. Do I think it's stupid? Yeah, but do I think Americans love their cars? Yeah. So that's why it's like one of those like
You
catch 2020 things.
you literally like last week were saying you would never give up your gas automobile.
I wouldn't. I would never give it up. I love my car. That's what I'm
So
saying.
what's
As
the
Americans,
But what's the alternative if there's no laws regarding the speed limit, nobody to enforce those
I'm
laws?
fucking flying, bro. Autobahn.
But what I'm saying is, do the chances of a loss on your part go up or down with
Absolutely.
a lack of laws or those to enforce them?
Absolutely. That's a risk that you have to take. Some
Right,
of you may die, but that is a risk I'm willing to take.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, all it takes is for one reckless person who could have been stopped to destroy your shit, and then you have nothing and no
I
way to
mean,
replace it.
the same thing still happens today. I mean, you have a drunk driver gets in an accident. We have a means to stop, and it didn't happen. He still kills a family of 5. Like,
Yeah,
even though we have the
absolutely.
safety nets, things
But
get through. It's not perfect.
in
It's not a perfect society.
loss of life, there's no amount of money that accounts for that,
Exactly.
right? I
Exactly.
agree 100%. But what if we're talking about a situation where a drunk driver hits your vehicle and you have no coverage whatsoever? That person made a stupid mistake. They destroyed your vehicle. They destroyed their vehicle. Now what?
There's always, like I said, there's always a difference. What happens if it's a drunk driver? He had no insurance, and you have just liability. It's the same thing. You were
You have
just out doing this.
if you have liability insurance,
Doesn't cover your car,
you have the required uninsured motorist bodily injury, which is when someone injures yourself or your passengers and the other driver doesn't have insurance,
but
or
not your car.
you have your uninsured motorist property damage,
Hmm.
which protects your vehicle and your property within that vehicle in the case that someone without insurance hits your vehicle.
But here's the thing: it doesn't always cover it. My father had liability in his car. The person that totaled his Aurora did not have insurance. He got injured, and his insurance company did nothing, dude.
Did
That's
he
what I'm
have
saying.
uninsured motorist bodily injury coverage, which is a liability coverage?
I don't know. He had the bare minimum for the car because it was a fucking 90 or 95 Aurora. So I mean, some people out there just get the bare minimum and don't realize that the
That you
insurance
could
does nothing
pay
for you. It just does if you hit someone else.
that you could pay $20 more for the year to get that coverage?
But you were making it seem like, all that money was hard on some people, which $20 is expensive for a lot of people in small families. So that $20 helped feed that family for that week. So I'm saying you have to think outside the box on
You're
it.
right.
Like,
I mean, that's $1.66 a month.
I mean,
Well,
it still adds up for, the lower to end, low end, class of America.
as
So I mean,
exhilarating as talking about insurances,
right. I hate it. I hate insurance. I'm sorry. I
fucking
know you
hell.
work in it, Logan, but I think it's the biggest scam. I'm sorry. To each his own. Same with health insurance
No, I was
scam.
just going to change topics. So you know how like Walmart and Tesla and all these other major corporations are starting to work on communities, like their employees live and are close
Yeah,
by to work, and they just doesn't that
like
seem
Google.
yeah.
Google does it too, right?
Well, kinda. I mean,
Because my buddy Tommy just got a job for Google, and they have like everything there, dude. Like a mall at Google.
yeah. Did you see the new Resident Evil series that's on Netflix?
I have not. There's a series for Resident Evil.
It's set your expectations low and don't think it's even related to the whole Raccoon City
Oh,
Resident Evil. It's better if you
that's
keep that off of
disappointing.
your mind. It's a good series. Don't get me wrong. It's 7, 8 episodes. Not bad. But
So like
anyways,
7 out of 10, you'd watch it again.
no.
Oh.
No.
Well, cheers to ruining Resident Evil.
Yeah. Cheers. Um, but no, I kind of so they have this entire community that they've got schools, they've got shopping, they've got everyone's jobs, everyone that works in this city or works for the company, lives in this city, and it's all governed,
They scoot.
monitored, and operated out of there. You know, it's I what there's it's not socialistic. What is I don't know. It's a little weird, but that concept I kind of like, where everything's within walking distance. I think if we designed a trial city, if you will, sort of like how Saudi Arabia is doing the line, I think it'd be cool for the United States to hop on board with something like that, where they can try to build a very condensed city where everything that you need is within walking distance. I think
Financially, would that be a gain for them?
I don't down the road, yeah, I could see that becoming a thing. But the problem is these mega corporations that have a complete control over everything is becoming an issue. I mean, you look at
They got
Disney.
us by the nuts. They got us by the nuts.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at, even media. Media is owned by three companies. There's three major companies that own 95% of all media. We talked about that like 30 episodes ago. I can
Yeah,
definitely see.
social media is a scam. They're profiting on our data.
Yeah,
Damn right it
Stop
is.
using social media.
As we're on social media right now,
yeah. Well,
it is what it
it
is.
is what it is. It is.
Pros and cons to everything, right, guys?
Yeah. For our viewers, definitely stick around. But guys, thank you so much for listening to Drunk Discussions podcast. If you guys want to get a hold of us, you can email us at drunkscussion.crew@gmail.com. You can also find us on all social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. If you want to join in on the live chat and be able to ask questions directly to us, you can also hop on Twitch. Go ahead and check out our merch. We've got our Rebel, and we've also got some new merch coming onto Twitch. I've got a bunch of new designs that we're going to be putting together. Everyone take a drink, have a great night, day, midday, morning, whatever time you're listening to.
And everybody from last week, thank you for tuning in. The raffle was fun. It was at the end of it, so everyone that left early, that's why you didn't get shit. You didn't stay for the raffle. So sucks for you, you missed out. But we will be doing it again. It turned out really well. We had a lot of happy listeners. We have some